we're looking at finding slope and rate of change today. So let's take a look at our first picture. And we have this beautiful blue line here, and we need to find the slope. One way is to look at it visually. You know, you have to go up 4 and over 6 to get to this point. So the rise is 4 over 6. So we could write it as 4 over 6. The other possibility is to take a look at your y values, 6 and 2. The difference between the numbers are 4. And, oh, that looks like a kindergarten 4 again. Let's see if we can fix that up. Okay. And then the difference between the x values, we have 2 and negative 4, so that would be a difference of 6. So it still turns out 4, 6. And let's take, oh, of course we have to simplify this, by the way. If these are both even numbers, they're both divisible by 2. 4 divided by 2 is a 2, and 6 divided by a 2 is a 3. So our slope is actually 2/3. All right, let's have you guys try a few. One more together, and then we'll have you guys do it on your own. Find the differences between the y's. From 2 to negative 1 on a number line has 3 spaces, or 2 minus negative 1, your choice. And then between 5 and 4, there are only 1 spaces, or space, I should say. So your slope would have to be 3. And look what they have. Voila, 3. All right, you try these 2 on your own. This one on the bottom, since you don't have to work with fractions, we can rewrite this. And I'm going to rewrite it, as 4.55, because that's the same thing as 4. 9 divided by 2 is 4.5. And the other number will have, we could use 0.5 instead of the number 1/2, and negative 3. So please find the slope for these 2 and 3. Pause your video. All right, the difference between 3 and 6, that would be 3. And the difference between negative 2 and 4, that would be 6 spaces. Now, is it negative or positive? If you go from 3 to 6, that's a positive movement. If you go from negative 2 to 4, that's a positive movement. So let's check out what our final answer is. And you guys will notice it's a positive 1/2 because 36 is 1/2. You can do the same thing with these, and you will find the difference between 5 and negative 3. 5 going backwards to negative 3. And you will find the answer is 2. All right, let's try the next one. Find the slope of the line. We can just go ahead and make a nice little triangle here. It's called a right triangle. And it's a rise of negative 6 because you're dropping 6 and moving right 3. And you also notice the slope goes downhill. That's why it's a negative slope. Or you can use your numbers. You do 5 minus negative 1 and so on. And you get your negative 2 slope. Personally, I like looking at the picture and just going, oh, drop 6 over 3. So I write my negative 6 over 3. And so you get negative 6 over 3, which equals a negative 2. All right, next picture. And this one has a slope. Take a look at the slope. It's not going up or down, so that has a slope of 0. Slope is 0 for a horizontal line. What happens if we draw a vertical line? Yikes! Try to go up that slope. That's crazy talk if you try to go up this slope. So, in other words, it's calling that, it's called undefined. And the reason it's undefined is because if you take a look at your x values and you place them in the denominator, look what happens. 3 minus 3 is a 0. Can you divide by 0? Nope, that's impossible. So that's an undefined slope. You can look at it visually and notice that the slope is straight up and down. That's undefined. So every time you have a vertical line, it is undefined. All right. Some practice problems for you guys to try. You can either use your y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, or you can go ahead and graph. All right, pause your video, give it a try. Welcome back. Let's take a look. Y's over x's, of course, so let's take our y's. We have a negative 2 minus a 2, and we have 5 minus 5 minus 5. And so that's a 0 in the bottom. Stop there. you know it's not divisible by 0, so this one is undefined. So we have an undefined slope. This one we do the same process, and we have a 0 in the top because in the y value is 4 minus 4 is 0. So right away I know that that has a 0 on the top. And every time you do your math and you get a 0 on top, no matter what's on the bottom, 0 divided by something is always 0. So we have a 0 slope. Okay? So 0 in the bottom is undefined, 0 in the top is a 0 slope. And then this one we actually do the math, and we get a -2 slope. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Hello. And we're going to stop there for tonight, and we'll do example 5 for the next video.